I first started ringing in my early 30s when we moved to a village in Yorkshire. I wish I'd started earlier because I've always been attracted by the idea of bell ringing. It combines village life with church life, and also the method ringing is very mathematical, and I'm a mathematician. St Chad's Church was founded in 1287, but the bells were not installed until 1714. And there's no record of the actual ringers until the beginning of the 20th century. The bells were cast by Ruddles, a firm in Gloucestershire, who were responsible for installing bells in churches right across the country in the 17th and 18th centuries. At St Chad's there are 6 bells, and each of them has an inscription. On the lightest bell, called the treble, there is the Lion of the Town of Lions, and on the second there is the inscription Peace and Good Neighbourhood. Bells were first put in churches to call people to worship, but also used as a communication system. The bell would sound out over people working in the fields or the houses to let them know that the shift was finished, or that there had been some national event, or that somebody had died in the village. The church was also seen as a place of sanctuary. So the tower was for protection and the bells were for warning. Now, of course, bells are mainly used to announce worship and are seen within a community as very much part of the church's activities. In a village like Holt, bell ringing is also an excellent social activity. It's great to belong to a group and do things together and work at new targets. And of course there's intellectual and physical challenge. For the youngsters, there's also a sense of mystery and secrecy. We go through that little door and up the spiral staircase and come out into the ringing chamber, which for them is like a den.
I started ringing when I first saw my dad ring at Wrexham, and I decided I wanted to start at Wrexham. So Mike said I could move to Holt, so I started then.
I used to be in the choir in the church, and Jack Powell at the time was here, and I used to go up the tower with Jack to wind the clock up, because them days you just have to wind the clocks up. I remember Jack saying, have it, go on the bell upstairs. So I just got hold of the bell and sort of just rung it a little bit, and it went from there. Jack taught me to ring, and I never looked back since.
Once or twice a year we have bell ringing competitions. They're called striking competitions, and the aim is to make the bells sound as even and as rhythmic as possible. We were very proud in 2008 here at St Chad's because we won the Wrexham branch striking competition. You can find bells in churches all over the world, but the British way of hanging and using church bells is unique. Around about the 1600s, they came up with the idea of placing the bell on a wheel, and this enables the bell ringer to control the speed at which the bell is rung. Once this had happened, it was not long before they were able to alter the order in which the bells are rung. And so the conductor would call to the band to swap 2 bells around and therefore change the sound. From there, it was a small step to devising what are called methods, where there is a continuous change of order of the bells, which requires each of the ringers to know the pattern that they are following. This has led to the development of literally hundreds of methods, which different bands of ringers will learn in advance and then meet together to enjoy performing. Stand next. Well, I hope you've enjoyed that short exploration into the ancient exercise of bell ringing. If you want to know more, and you live in the Wrexham area, then there are about 8 active ringing groups, ringing bands in churches in the Wrexham area, and here in Holt we practice on a Monday evening. If you don't live locally to Wrexham, then your best move is to get in touch with the Central Council of Bell Ringing, and the website is www.cccbr.org.uk. Thank you very much.